Cum iam appropinquasset ille terminus, quem Dominus Iesus quotidie suis demonstrat fidelibus, specialiter in evangelio dicens. Si quis vult post me venire, abneget semet ipse tollat crucem suam et sequatur me. Fact est igitur motio valida per universas Galliarum regiones, ut si aliquis Deum studiose purroque cordet mente sequi desideraret, atque post ipsum crucem fideliter baiulare vellet, non pigrita retur sancti sepulcri miam celerius arripere. Apostolicus namque Romane sedis, ultramontana aspartes, quantocius profectus est, cum suis archiepiscopiis, episcopis, abbatibus et presbyteris, cepitque subtiliter sermocinari et predicare, dicens, ut si quis animam suam salvam facere vellet, non dubitare tu militer viam incipere Domini. Accidenariorum ei deesset copia, divinae satis darret misericordia. Ait namque Dominus Apostolicus, fratres, vos oportet multa pati pro nomine Christi. Videlicet miserias, paupertates, nuditates, persecutiones, egestates, infirmitates, fames, sites et alia huius modi. Sic uti Dominus ait suis discipulis, oportet vos pati multa pro nomine meo, et nolite rubescere loqui ante facies hominum. Ego vero dabo vobis os et eloquium, ac deinceps persequetur vos larga retributio. Cumque iam hic sermo paulatum per universas regiones, ac Galliarum patrias cepis et crebescere. Franci alientes talia protinus in dextra crucem suere scapula, dicentes esse Christi unanimiter sequi vestigia, quibus de manu erant redempti Tartarea. Iamque Galliae suis remote sunt domibus. Now let's untangle it in English, shall we? Cum iam appropinquasset ille terminus. When that day looked like it was about to come, when it would have came, appropinquasset. Which day? That day, ille terminus quem Dominus Iesus quotidie suis demonstrat fidelibus. He shows this day every day, quotidie demonstrat suis fidelibus. Hunc diem, ille terminus. And he specially wrote this in the gospel. Specialiter in evangelio dicens, si quis vult post me venire, if anyone should want to follow me, if anyone wants to follow me, vult post me venire, abneget semet ipsum. See this subjunctive? Abneget, he should give himself up, semet ipsum, himself, semet ipsum, et tollat crucem suam. He should carry crucem suam, his own cross, et sequatur me, and let him follow me. Again, another subjunctive here. Let him follow me. Fact est igitur motio valida. Therefore, there is a great motion, a great motio, a movement, per universas Galliarum regiones, through all the regions of Gaul. Ut si aliquis Deum studiose purroque cordet mente sequi desideraret. Ut si aliquis, if anyone should if anyone, God, with a most zealous and pure heart and mind, sequi desideratet, should wish to follow. Here's another subjunctive. He should wish to follow, sequi Deum. Ut si aliquis Deum studiose purroque cortet mente sequi desideratet, atque post ipsum crucem fideliter baiulare vellet. And atque, and also post ipsum, after himself, carry the cross, fideliter baiulare vellet. If anyone should want to carry the cross faithfully behind themselves. Non pigrita retur sancti sepulchri viam celerius arripere. Non pigrita retur. He should not hesitate. Sancti sepulchri viam. The road to the holy sepulchre. Celerius. Here's a adverb. Here's a comparative adverb. Celer is quickly. Celerius is faster. More quickly. Celerius arripere. So the whole meaning of this would see if anyone should want to follow God with the most pure and with the most pure heart and mind zealously, and carry the cross after him, and carry the cross behind him most faithfully, he should not hesitate to take up the road to the holy sepulchre more quickly. Apostolicus namque Romane sedis, the the apostle of the Roman seat, ultramontanas partes, beyond the mountain parts, quantocius, in however far he could, profectus est. The so bishops are sent from the Roman seat beyond the mountain parts, however far he is sent. Cum suis episcopis abbatibus et et presbyteris. Archiepiscopis, archbishops, episcopis with the bishops. See this multiple stacked ablatives. Cum suis archiepiscopis, episcopis, abbatibus. I forget what this word is in English, but it's another type of est aliud genus clerorum, another type of priest. Et presbyteris cepitque subtiliter sermocinari. So they began to preach, sermocinari, et predicare. Predicare, it sounds like it means we're to predict, but it is more like, uh, it is kind of like predict. It's more like to foretell, forewarn, like announce, kind of. Cepitque subtiliter sermocinari et predicari. So they began to preach and to pray. Dicens, he was saying, ut siquis animam suam salvam facere vellet. If anyone should wish to make animam suam, if anyone should wish animam suam salvam facere, to make their soul animam suam salvam, if anyone should wish to save their soul, non dubitaret humiliter viam incipere Domini. He should not doubt, non dubitaret. He should not doubt or negate or shy away from humiliter, most humbly taking up the road, viam incipere, taking up the road, Domini, the road of God. Axi denariorum de esset copia. Divina satis daret misericordia. You like this little piece of propaganda? He's promising si denariorum de esset copia. Who does this A refer to? This A refers to this guy, Siquis. Siquis, if anyone should wish to make their soul saved, he should not shy away from taking up the road of God humbly. And si de esset copia denariorum. So the promise is that if he doesn't have any money, si de esset if a copia denariorum was away from him, kind of. You see how this works? Axi denariorum de esset copia, divina satis daret misericordia. Divina. So here's a kind of thing. It's a thing called a hyperbaton. Latin authors and classical authors like to do this a lot because this word divina goes with this word misericordia. Divina satis daret misericordia. So divine mercy, satis daret. It would give him enough. So what's the full promise here? if if this person who was taking up the road to Jerusalem, if he didn't have enough money, the promise was that divine mercy would give him enough. What else does he say? Let's see. Ait, he says. Ait is often used to introduce a direct quotation. Ait namque Dominus Apostolicus. So, therefore, the holy bishop, the Lord Bishop, Dominus Apostolicus, what did he say? Ait fratres, vos oportet multa pati pro nomine Christi. See, here you go. Here's a little slightly easier bit. Brothers, fratres, vos oportet multa pati. It suits you to suffer much. Multa pati. Pati is the infinitive of patior, which means I suffer. So, vos oportet multa pati. It suits you to suffer much. Suffer much for what? Pro nomine Christi. Scitis Christum pro videli et vos oportet multa pati pro nomine Christi et hic numera uh, quid pate buntur, what they will have to suffer. Videlicet miseries, paupertates, poverty, nuditates. Well, I know it kind of sounds like nudity, but I assume it means some sort of embarrassment or humiliation. Persecutiones. Here's another one. You will have to suffer many persecutions. Egestates. Egestas is like a need. So, infirmitates, sickness, fames, hunger, cites, thirst, et alia huius modi, other things of this kind, alia huius modi. So, what does it suit the brothers to suffer for the name of Christ? Fratres, vos oportet multa pati pro nomine Christi, vi delicet, like he's calling out specifically, well, you will have to suffer miseries, poverty, embarrassments, persecutions, need, sickness, hunger, thirst, and other things of this kind. Sicuti Dominus ait suis discipulis. Just as the Lord said to his followers, suis discipulis ait, oportet vos pati multa pro nomine meo. Ergo hic iterum scriptum est, fere, fere eandem sententia scripta est ut huic. Vos oportet multa pati pro nomine Christi, oportet vos pati multa pro nomine meo. Et nolite erubescere loqui. Rubeus in Latin is a adjective that is associated with red things. So this word erubescere loqui, is to become red to speak. So what's the command? Nolite erubescere loqui. I do not want you to be ashamed to speak or to get embarrassed to speak. Ante facies hominum, before the faces of man. Ego vero dabo vobis os et eloquium. Here's a future tense word, dabo, I will give. Ego vero dabo vobis os et eloquium. I will give you the mouth and the eloquence and the words. Acadeinceps, and then afterwards. Persequetur vos larga retributio. Jesus says, certainly persequetur. He says it will follow you. Larga retributio. A large backlash will follow you. Cumque iam hic sermo paulatim per universas regiones ac Galliarum patrias cepis et crebescere. Cumque iam, when already this speech, these words, this exhortation, hic sermo paulatim per universas regiones ac Galliarum patrias, through all the regions and fathers of Gaul, cepis et crebescere, began to, crebescere is to, another inchoative word. It means to begin to spread, crebescere, to rise. Franci audientes talia, hearing such a thing, talia audientes, protinus in dextra crucem suere scapula. Something about them putting the cross to their right shoulder. Sorry, the meaning of this word is escaping me right now, but they're putting the cross to their right shoulder. Dicente sese Christi unanimiter sequi vestigia. Here's another hyperbaton, as I demonstrated there is another one right here. Divina e satisdaret misericordia. Hic Christi unanimiter sequi vestigia. So, dicentes sese unanimiter sequi vestigia Christi. So they said about themselves, they will unanimiter, they will together, unanimously, follow in the footsteps of Christ. Vestigia, footsteps. Quibus de manu erant redempti tartarea. By whose hand, or by following these footsteps from the hand from the hand of Tartarus, from the hand of hell, erant redempti. Iam iamquem Galliae sunt remote suis domibus. So increasingly, the French are more and more remote from their homes. Suis remote sunt domibus. Iam iamque. So let's go over the whole meaning again. So when it appeared that that day was coming, the day that Jesus had promised every single day to his faithful followers, specifically putting it in the gospel that if anyone should wish to follow him, he should give up himself, pick up the cross behind him, and follow him. If anyone should wish to follow me, he should forget himself, pick up his own cross, and follow me. Therefore, a great motion began to rise in all the provinces of Gaul, that if, or of all the provinces or parts of France, that if anyone should want to zealously follow God with a pure heart and mind and wanted to carry his own cross behind him, he should not hesitate to take up the road to the Holy Sepulchre. Some priests, the bishop of the Roman see, he was sent forth beyond the mountain parts with his archbishops, bishops, ab, uh, whatever this word is, and presbyters, and he began to preach. And they all begin to preach together, sermocinare et predicare, to pray together, and they say that if anyone should wish to save their own soul, they would not shy away from humbly taking up the way of God, along with this promise that if they did not have enough money or resources, they would be given enough by divine mercy. And the bishop, the Lord Bishop says, brothers, it suits you to suffer a lot for the name of Christ, namely miseries, poverty, embarrassment, persecution, need, sickness, hunger, thirst, and other things of this type. Just as God says to his own followers that Just as God says to his own followers, it suits you to suffer much for my name, and says, I do not wish you to be ashamed to speak in front of the faces of man. I will give you the mouth and speech, and then afterwards you will be persecuted by a large backlash. When this when this preaching began to spread through all the regions of Gaul, the French, hearing this, they decided to fix the cross on their right shoulders, saying they wished unanimously to follow in the footsteps of Christ, by which actions they hoped they would be redeemed from the hand of hell. Therefore, increasingly, they get further from their homes. They begin to travel. Thank you guys for tuning in to my first little uh, Latin reading